Hey everyone, Brian Johnson, thestockmentor.com again. Wanted to do a quick aftermarket update for all of you, video format, showing you what happened today, which was really nothing. However, nothing does not help the bears in this case. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. We are remaining at our highs. If we remain at our highs, that is called a high base, and a high base is ultimately bullish until, as you've heard me say before, otherwise proven. I still like the Dow above 12,600 on any kind of move to the upside. We can obviously see moves down from here. However, just wanted to make you aware that this push to the upside does not seem or appear to have completed in through here. We can do that 1, we can do that 2, maybe a 1, then a 2. Then this is all a 3. Now we're working on a 4 for those of you that like Elliott Wave. 4 and 2 typically don't do the same thing because this was, like, I guess we could call that a zigzag. It was a pullback. It was a zigzag. This could end up in a high base, some sort of a triangle, something to that effect. Point is, as I said last week, I do believe that a 4 and then a 5 is left to come. Could be a 4 sideways, then a 5 up. Who knows? I don't really care. Point being, I do believe there is some more upside to go. That I care about. Need to get their direction correct. So here we saw the break last week of all of this stuff back into this overhead area. Yes, I mean a pullback here would of course look sweet. Start to look at that whole inverse head and shoulders, whoa la la. Whether or not that'll happen doesn't matter. Situation is, as of one day, we went nowhere today, wandered sideways, looking to push our way upwards after this. Okay, above 12,600 on the Dow. Let's fly through it. NASDAQ 60-minute up into the 2370-ish area. Still like that above 2375 to 2380. That was my point last week to be watching as well. 2370 to 2375 is kind of a no-fly zone for moi. I do like the gap fill at 2380. Would be watching that very closely. So, for those of you on the more conservative side, yes, above 2380 is your trade. Right now it is a day trade. I would not be looking to necessarily hold this for days at a time. We are, once again, starting to get up there a little bit. We are not up too far, but yes, we are maybe starting to look a little extended in this area. So, it is not the time to short. It is just the time to be cautious. In my book, I know I have a little different sentiment than some of the other people on this board, but you know what? Because people on this board can accept other ideas and other comments on things, I can get away with having a dissenting opinion, and it's okay. That is what the markets is all about. In my interpretation here, it looks like we might have, like I said, a little bit more of an uppity up to go quite yet. Above 2380, really watching closely for these highs up here. 2417, 2415 is where people will be talking about. I'm going to tell you to look before that. If we are going to get a turnaround up here, it will happen obviously before those numbers are hit. Not at those numbers, not above those numbers. So don't be looking at these highs. If you get above 2380, be aiming more for the 2400 mark and then be uber cautious if you are long. From a weekly standpoint, we are 1 day into it. Not going to worry about the weekly charts right now, coming off the huge week. SPX moving sideways as well. Went nowhere today. Had a high of 1341 and a low of 1334. We moved 6-7 points total. Was able to squeeze a couple of points out of this thing, but it was not fun. It was not easy. This is tough trading in through here. If you got your hand slapped today, don't worry about it. It's very difficult to trade in here if you're not used to trading this type of a choppy sideways environment. It is okay. Got to have just the right education to make that work in your favor, to be quite honest. It's pretty tough. 1345 still my overhead area. Notice how the NASDAQ is up to it, and we are not there on the SPX quite yet. Does not mean we won't penetrate. It might just take a little bit longer. Here's that sideways move. It is still a high base until otherwise proven. Might even get another day or two of this. The longer we hang up here, the more bullish it actually is, guys. Keep that in mind. So maybe we see another small nowhere day tomorrow. I don't know. But you're watching now for breaks back below about 1330, then above that 1340. I'd really wait for the 1345 break if I were you. VIX was, of course, up a little bit today. Markets were down a little bit today, kind of a wash. Point being, they're back in the 16 area. Nothing big to talk about here. I really don't start to care until they get above 19. FAS on a 60-minute looks like it wants to consolidate. Here we could have had the 1, the pullback 2. This could now be triangling out. That's what this appears to be at this time, some sort of a triangle formation potentially. I'm still looking short below 26 and long above this 27, 20-ish area if you are an FAS person. Above 27 is not a bad entry. A little bit more on the speculative side, but if you want to front run it, that would be the area to be looking at. So above 27, below 26, same type of thing on the daily. Make sure it clears the 200-day moving average. So above 27, does that mean 27.01? Let it clear the 200-day. You don't want to be going long right below the 200. We're still kind of wandering around with some of these. So 26, 27 still are the major areas. Obviously not at 26 or at 27, but you understand what I'm talking about. Same thing to push to the downside. We broke this bull flag last week, have been holding there ever since. This looks like it might want to consolidate. If you want to sneak a little bit on a day trade here, don't know I'd be swing trading these things, but on a day trade above 44 and below 42, those would be my areas to be watching coming into tomorrow. 44, 42 work nicely on the daily as well. So far we have 1 day sideways. I don't care if that's a bullish harame candle, or I don't care. I don't care. Right now it's 1 day sideways. It means nothing to me at this point. If we continue in this sideways action as we've seen in the markets, this will turn into a low base just as we've seen the markets in a potential high base. That would be then bearish for this stock. It's still below 42, still below 44 for your moves, one way or the other. Okay, this wraps it up for the daily video. I wanted to show you a couple of things. Here is what we looked at last week, and that is AGL. We were in last week on this. This is the subscribers newsletter. We were in this thing above $40.50. Those were my entries last week. So on the subscribers newsletter, we did very well on AGL, ERY. We tried, if the markets were going to crash, I like this thing long. We did not get the entry above 18. We did get some, took an entry below this 50-day down here. Not many of my people did, but some of them did, and they made some money on this. So anyway, ERY was a long and a short. The ones that went short, of course, made the money once we broke this area. We did not get our long entry on ERY. MGA was the moneymaker of the week. This thing was just a honey of a trade last week. This one was above $50.50 and or 51 for your entries, both aggressive and conservative. We got a very nice push on this. Tried to get this sucker into 55, could not get it. I believe we do make it there eventually, but it's going to pull back first. Anyway, this was a honey of a trade. Good for about $3-4 by the time it was all said and done. And so on a $50 stock, that's that's a good percentage move. So we did very, very well on MGA. Actually, kind of on all the things we looked at. I love this too. The fact that we pushed up and out of this was really, really a nice trade. That was what we did on the video newsletter. Today I opened up my trading room. That was interesting. I was really nervous, I got to tell you. I haven't done anything like that. It's one thing when it's just you and the computer, but boy, when you've got other people listening to you and you're calling out trades and you're talking about this and talking about that, and people are asking you about this trade and that trade, and just there's a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, we were able to pull out a few points out of the ES today, so we were positive on the ES for the day. I'm going to try to start, I think I can record my session, so I'll try to record my trade so that you guys know I'm not just making stuff up. I would never want anybody to think that, oh yeah, we were in this trade and that trade and all this other stuff, and then have no proof for it. So I'm big about that. I will definitely do my best to try to get you guys some video on that so that you can see exactly what we were doing at the time. And that we took the trades. Anyway, if you'll believe me for today, this is where we were at for today's trading room. We made a few points on the ES. We were and went long JLL today. We played JLL today. I'm actually down on this trade. I was in this trade above 96, so I just want you guys to know that. I am down a little bit on this one. See where this goes tomorrow. I held overnight. Apple we got into late in the day. This was a good one, though. By the way, I watch Apple every day on my subscribers video. If you guys play Apple, like Apple, enjoy Apple, the subscribers newsletter, if not the trading room, is perfect. At least the newsletter, if you can't sit around and sit in a trading room all day. But the newsletter is great. If you like Apple, I trade Apple all the time, and it's always on my list. Every week, every day, I go over it. So keep that in mind if you like Apple. We got into this one. My trade was above 345 to the long side. Today I got in late in the day. I'm holding that one overnight too. Let's see where that one ends up. CELL we got into as well. This was another long trade of the day for anything over $8. Just a small one. I'm also holding this one overnight. And then I know you guys are going to go whatever, but I promise you we really did play this today. ILMN we got into. We got a nice move on this one. If you go back and look at it on an intraday, I had one of my members of the trading room call this one out. And we got in, like he called it out this morning. So we were watching this one kind of up and over the 76 mark and or 76.25. I got in just above $76. I was long at actually 76.28. I waited for the more conservative entry, and something happened. It got news. Something happened today, and it spiked straight upwards. So fluke trade, but that's what happens when you can find the right stocks. So anyway, we played this one in the trading room today. Made at least $1 on this. If they got out at the end of the day, I'm actually going to hold on to this one and see if I can't squeeze a little bit more juice out of this lemon, and to see if I can't make a little bit more money on it. But point being, anyway, there was good trading to be done in the trading room. If you have time during the day, or even a couple times a week, to sit and be a part of a trading room, let me invite you to think about mine. I'm there, market open to, well, I told everybody I was going to take a 2-hour lunch, but that didn't happen today. I took like a 15-minute lunch, and I was there basically all day with everyone. We looked at trades. We called out trades. We were successful, had a great day. Hopefully we can stay consistent with that. I believe we absolutely can based on what I've done in my newsletters. So if you guys are interested in that, let me just recommend you give it a shot. There's nothing better than allowing somebody to help you trade during the course of a day. Whether you take my trades or not is completely up to you. But there is money to be made in the markets, and I can help you with that. I can hold your hand. We can go through it together, whatever you'd like to do. But it's a really, really for anybody trading anything whatsoever today, especially if you're a futures trader. I like to watch the futures over the course of a day. So if you like to trade the futures or want to learn how to trade the futures, I will teach you at no charge. If you're in the trading room, I'll teach you how to trade the futures, and then you can trade along with us. And today we made basically, well, we almost made back what an entire month's subscription rate would be just today alone. So I'm very happy with how it went. I'm very focused on making sure my people get their money's worth, and I'm there a lot, so I think you'll find it very educational. Definitely worth your chance. I don't require you to stay with it for months upon end. You can try it for a month and see what you think, which I think is a heck of a deal in and by itself. So give it a whirl. See what you think. We'll see you in the trading room, and we'll talk to you again later on this week. I'm not sure if I'll do 1 or 2 of these videos this week, but we'll see how the week goes and see what kind of market action we get. Anyway, talk to you soon. Bye, guys.